Army veteran and former Congressman Alan West even bringing up this question. Has the U.S. already surrendered to ISIS? Colonel West joins us. Really? Surrendered?
Well, it's amazing what you look at. The Heritage Foundation just put out a report about how we're decimating our United States military. We're sitting back and we're believing that we can fight one war strategy and maybe try to contend or hold off other contingencies. But when you look at how this Islamic terrorist enemy has been able to spread all across about 10 to 11 different countries, we have multiple combat theaters that we are not able to deploy and stem this tide.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I looked today, I saw some pictures that were sent to me of children. Children being crucified, children being with guns up to their heads. I mean, the worst, ugliest picture you can imagine. These are Christian children. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know why, more people aren't up in arms. I mean, it's like, that this is going on to these people. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, I think more people are up in arms, but for whatever reason, we have a recalcitrance. We have some paralysis up here in Washington, D.C. I keep hearing about America being war weary, but you only have about 2% that has been out there serving in uniform, and they are more than willing to go and fight this enemy. But we don't need these restrictive rules of engagement. We don't need the commander-in-chief saying what we're not going to do and how long we're not going to do it, and limiting himself to 3 years.
All right. Well, I know the discussion being war weary, and some people are, and I mean, I think that's an important discussion, and I get it. But I don't even see, I think that we really should reach out to the world. I think others in the world. I mean, there are ways that we can sort of share the responsibility,
sure.
And we could be meeting with President Hollande, the President of the United States could meet with the President Hollande of France, with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. I mean, they're seeing the same pictures we are.
King
David
Abdullah
or Cameron.
Of Jordan, with
yes.
President al-Sisi of Egypt, with the Kurdish regional government leaders, the United Arab Emirates. All of them are looking for someone that will step up and lead, and we should take that role and that responsibility.
Just get everybody together, at least start talking, show them the pictures. Sure. I mean, you look at these pictures and you don't sit there like, just dead weight. I mean, you at least want to try to come up with some solution.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think that a lot of people are concerned because in the past 10 to 13 years, we've been fighting occupational style warfare. We've been sitting in one place building roads, schools. That's not what this is about. This is about strike operations. This is about power projection, finding this enemy and bringing lethal and violent destruction against them.
So what's going to happen to these Christians? I mean, it's just, more than 200, now on the list just in a couple days. I mean, it's astounding.
Well, unfortunately, some of them will be killed. The women and some of the girls will be sold off into slavery. We should not have this type of savage barbarism in the 21st century, but we're sitting back and watching it happen.
You say some will be, and it's like, look at the opposite. I mean, what is their motive to keep them? They haven't asked for ransom for any of them. They haven't asked for that.
Well, this is genocidal.
Right.
This
so
is Persian,
they're not going to sit and feed them. They're not going to spend the ISIS isn't going to spend all their money on them. They're not going to babysit them. What possible reason could they have to get these Christians except for the fact that they're Christians and they intend to kill them?
Well, that's the bottom line to all of this. And this is another episode of genocide against Christians in that part of the world. The Assyrians faced this same genocide from the Ottoman Empire back in 1914. So here we are allowing history, a very ugly, dark history, to repeat itself.
Are we just simply looking the other way? I mean, really? Is that what this is?
I think we are looking away. I recently had a little girl ask me, how can such evil exist in her world today? And I couldn't answer her.
So what's going to happen?
We need leadership. We need leadership that stands up and says, this is what we're going to do strategically. This is not about going in and rebuilding nations, but this is about eradicating a cancer. And we're going to kill this cancer wherever it exists, and we're going to do it with, lethal force. And we're going to do it part of a broader coalition to include Muslim nations that want to make sure that their religion is not indicative of what we see happening right now.
Do you think President Obama behind the scenes is doing everything he can trying to get these nations and trying to get support, and that this is 24/7, and that maybe we just see things on the outside and it appears like he's not?
Because
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt on this.
You're doing very good, but no, because the truth is the Kurdish Peshmerga, who has been asking for weapons and support, they're not getting it.
Those are the ones who just got marched around in cages.
Absolutely. And they are very strong fighters, but you can't take old, ancient AK-47s against an army that is, now in possession of U.S. military weaponry. The Jordanians, the Egyptians, and the requests they had for intelligence support to go after ISIS targets were denied. So the evidence is there. It's quite clear.
Colonel, thank you. Nice to see you, sir.
Always a pleasure.